I'm going to introduce Stu Ingis, who is our chairman and CEO of Venable.
Unauthorized data scraping has become an increasingly important issue around the world. There is a real need for alignment, and consumers, industry, regulators collectively do not have a shared and consistent understanding of how to control, measure, prevent, respond to issues around unauthorized scraping. Conversations like the one that we're having today generate awareness that can be used here by policymakers, companies, and other, and hopefully move the dialogue on the broader area of internet best practices and regulation.
I'm really glad that Moose is here, that we're starting to kick off these conversations on how do we talk about these things as an industry and not just as an individual company's definition of what this is, which is part of where litigation has been so complex. It's part of where enforcement has been so complex. It's part of why the engagements with the academic community is extremely complex in getting to that. And so when I look at these examples that we're talking about, it is this new class of problem. It's not a privacy problem. It's not a security problem. It's not a data breach in the definition of what these are. But if we don't address it, we as platforms and we as consumers both lose.
There is no real legal definition around web scraping.
The internet was not built with security in mind.
So when it comes to the internet, it's very difficult to have physical jurisdictional boundaries.
There's so many areas of law and so many privacy interests that are implicated by aggregation of publicly available information, especially on the internet, especially in 2023.
The CFAA does not seem like a great way to deal with scraping. What we really need, as has been mentioned, is a privacy law that would deal with it.
The only way to solve scraping is to turn off the product. And we can't do that. And so it's finding the right balance on controls. It's forcing some pages to be logged in that may have been logged out before. It's being really intelligent about product design, around policy, around everything that we do. Because I think the biggest problem today is the platform is the only one held accountable for these actions.
I don't think there's one solution. I think it is 10 different solutions at different types of levels so that you do have more enforcement on the people who are misusing the data.
Having a conversation with the global industry and community about how do we work together to do this and have mechanisms that we can even do something about this, I think is one part of it.
What I'm really happy to see is this is something that we're getting the technical foundations in place for companies to be able to solve it of all sizes. But we need to help them put teeth in the ability to enforce. We can't have regulatory conversations without all agreeing on what should be the expectation from a technology perspective or ability to enforce, or obligations around research and other things. And so I think that is where the conversations have to start, and they're going to be difficult conversations because it doesn't exist.